still...
It's been a few days since we said. Still no news about Rarer, though. If only he was gone for good. But with all the trouble he...
Hello! You must be the traveler in Paimon? Mr. Flynn has been looking for you. Unfortunately, there's been a serious wild hunt attack over at the quarry.
The wild hunt? Oh, uh-oh! Come on, let's go!
Huh?
Go!
I can barely sense any Kuvaki at all. Whole area.
Looks like his appetite truly is insatiable.
He's not seriously still getting strong.
Everyone's here already.
We've all been on high alert since we split up a few days back, expecting Rarir, but it's like he just vanished into thin air. No one, that is, until this morning, when a ratnik found signs of wild hunt activity.
And we're sure that... Who else? He's the only one who could pull off a stunt like this.
Kuvaki loss has reached critical levels. Reiki of Solnari set to maximum threat level. Warning, unless de-escalation measures are taken soon.
Traveler, there wasn't a shred of sanity left.
Yeah, didn't he shout out a bunch of names? Then he started raving about how... Oh, Paimon gets chills just thinking about it.
Last time we fought, we were already at a disadvantage. If he...
Yeah, if I were him and I wanted more Kuvaki, I'd just take it. Unless something went wrong. His whole resurrection thing didn't...
The other thing is, how does someone...
Beats me.
According to certain medical studies, insanity does not always entail a complete loss of rationality. It may be that he is simply living...
That actually sounds about right. He was...
There are many unanswered questions here. He could be, besides his name and title, we know little about him.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even know. I'd be willing to bet that even if we gathered together every scrap of intel in nod-crai, we still wouldn't find...
So, if we do nothing, he'll just keep getting stronger. But last time we had Marionette and her big robo-buddy to help us. And we still barely... Oh, Paimon!
Well, I do have a little hunch about his next move. Given that he attacked the quarry, somewhere like the Eye of Krati, or the Pillar of Embla. One thing's for sure.
A perfectly reasonable hypothesis. However, it is worth noting that...
I agree, we should split up. Right now, Rarir's goal seems to be gathering...
Wait, what?
If I recall correctly, your largest goddess statue was carved from Kuvaki-rich ore, was...
That's right. Yes, it could well be a potential target of his.
Splitting up's always gonna be risky. But I guess... And if we do run into Rarir?
That's when you follow the third rule of treasure hunting.
Didn't you say that...
I don't know.
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a trace of Rerir, do not pursue him.
All right, we'd better get moving. Come on, Anefa, let's go.
Any leads?
Nope. Diddly squat. It feels like we're sitting on a powder keg that could go off at any second. Oh, I hate this.
So, you guys didn't find anything
Not loving the word.
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspicious individual. Almost as if he knew someone was on to him. Either...
He's been biding his time for a while now.
No idea. Since regaining his body, he seems to have lost...
All we can do now is hope that Aino and Anefa turn up some leads. Wait, he's actually here?
No. Silver Moon Hall. The Lady Kutar might be in danger.
Let's get over there, quick!
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehuda, get Kutar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Felindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
That was too close!
We barely made it out of there alive. What's that guy's deal? How'd he get so crazy strong?
He's a threat to this entire nation. I doubt his strength could even be measured by conventional standards.
I have a question. When me and Anefa showed up, we saw him chasing after this lady like he wanted her dead. What was that all about? We weren't there for the whole thing either. They were already duking it out by the time we arrived.
Yeah, we didn't see how it all started. It all escalated so quickly, we had no choice but to step in.
Kutar, can you shed any light on the situation?
Kutar. Cross-checking database. I see. So you're the one that the Frost Moon Scions refer to as the Moon Goddess?
Wait, she's the moon goddess? Oh, no wonder she looks just like all those statues.
There are many reasons why people might worship the moon, and just as many why they might despise it. I've never met that person before. Speaking his deep-seated hostility towards me, why he holds me in such contempt, I cannot say. But since he hunts the power of the moon, it's no surprise that I am a target.
Kutar.
There are many potential motives. For instance, you help the traveler escape his grasp. This could be his way of taking revenge. It is also possible that he covets the Kuvaki inside you and seeks to take it for his own. The list goes on. But right now, devising a counter-strategy should be our #1 priority. The likelihood of this location being discovered is close to 100%.
A counter-strategy? But we don't stand a chance against an enemy. Surely our only option is to run. He's not gonna chase us to the end of the world, right? So as long as we can sneak out of nod-crai undetected. No, I can't say that. Come on, Yehoda, this is serious stuff. You can't suggest we all just chicken out.
Running is our only option.
Huh?
You seem surprised, but what other choice do we have? We are facing an enemy we cannot possibly defeat in battle.
Well, I mean, yeah, but still.
It's not too late. I can distract him, so you have plenty of time to make your escape.
Wait, what? You're gonna act as bait?
Doesn't that make sense? I'm the one he's after. There's no need for you to risk your necks on my behalf. A coyote doesn't stop for bypassers while it's howling at the moon. What is it, Loma? The Frost Moon Scions have already grown accustomed to life without their goddess. My presence here is no longer essential, and this is not my home, so you needn't ask me to stay.
We can't just roll over and let him get away with this. That's not our style.
Yeah, we can't just call it quits after everything we've been through together. Besides, she'd pretty much saved my life back there. If I just ditched her now, I'd never forgive myself.
We can't overlook that you have saved our lives multiple times now. To talk of returning the favor would be a little crass for my liking. But suffice to say that we are friends, and friends look out for one another.
River's true objective remains unclear. Even if we were to sacrifice Miss Kutar, there's no guarantee he would stop.
But
Kutar, I know why you left the Frost Moon Scions so long ago. It was because people started treating prayer as a form of trade. They would make self-centered wishes, force you to accept meaningless offerings in return, and then expect you to perform miracles for them, as if that were their entitlement. If it were me, I might have walked away too. But I believe that time can change everything, and that sometimes it takes losing something precious to appreciate its true worth. After much reflection, I've realized that this was never about whether the Frost Moon Scions need you. Any relationship based on need is purely transactional. What I truly hope is that you'll choose to stay, Not out of obligation, but as part of our family. You were born here, and now you've returned. Who knows? Perhaps it was the moonlight that guided you home.
Thank you, Lauma. Afraid I will be of little use to you now. Very well then.
Both times you saved us, we were transported across great distances in an instant. Is that one of your powers as the moon goddess?
It is, but I find it very draining. I barely managed to pull it off just now, and it will be some time before I'm strong enough to do so again. Rejected by the world, my power is dwindling. Like a lake, cut off from its source, slowly shrinking away. Now, it has almost run dry.
What do you mean, rejected by the world?
The 3 moons belonged to the ancient bygone era in which they came into being. From the moment I was born, the world itself has been steadily sapping away at my strength. The 3 moons are not one and the same. As the goddess of the frost, yet moonlight has a way of blending together. Each can reflect the other's glow, but this method of recovery is painfully slow.
It's the Wild Hunt! Even faster than we expected.
See how those Wild Hunt creatures are running away from us. They're like...
Then what are we waiting for?
Leave this place.
Defensive mode engaged. Ultimatum protocol.
Being done! They just keep coming! This is driving me nuts!
Rear's closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace.
There's too many of them! And this time, we can't fall back on Picard's help to escape! This goes on much longer. Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
By the frost moon home, forest protector.
Flash attack!
Installation chamber deployed. Preparing for dust.
Close your eyes. Night falls. Be silent. Fear the dark.
With one frost, we play. Left is the moon.
Ultimatum protocol.
Observe. Close your eyes. Fear the dark. Observe. Fear the dark. Beware the creatures of the night.
By the frost moon home, leave this place.
Being done!
Cleanup sequence initiated. Annihilation mode.
Close your eyes. To dust. Observe.
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Uncle Varka! You're back from Amspartnir? Whoa! You're Varka?
We could save the intros for later. Right now, let's get you all out of this hellhole. Follow me. I know somewhere you'll be safe.
Oh, is that where...
That's the one. Come on, move!
Wow! Where are we? This is so well hidden.
Well, that goes without saying. This is the Knights of Favonius' meeting place in nod-crai, and a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network. AKA, the black market of intel. No matter what faction you're with, it's the place to buy and sell information. Their headquarters are in nod-crai, but they've got contacts in every nation. As an expeditionary force on foreign soil, working with them has offered us the most effective way of getting our hands on reliable local intel. This is where we meet, so naturally, it's secure. Anyway, where were we? Folks from nod-crai should be pretty familiar with me by the time we've met. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Varka, Knight of Boreas, and Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius.
We've heard all about you. This meeting's been a... You look way younger than Paimon expected. But you're definitely...
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsfartnir without a wink of sleep.
Another? You mean you...
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise. My squad took heavy injuries, and I barely made it out alive myself. We knew it might have been our last chance, so we staked everything on it. But still, it wasn't enough to stop. I tried tracking him down afterwards, but he didn't leave a trace. Even in his unhinged mental state, he's as... So, I decided to come find you. And as luck would have it, turned up to find you being ambushed by the Wild Hunt.
Is that why he's been frantically
Maybe I'm part of the equation, but even if I weren't, I'm sure he'd still be...
Note to self, Uncle Varka's strength rating officially upgraded.
Guess it's my turn to ask questions now. So, what exactly has been happening?
That's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick.
Wow, I had no idea so much had happened. Sounds like you guys have really been through it. So, the Kutar is actually a Fatui Harbinger. And all this wild hunt activity in nod-crai is the work of the Raker of Solnari. That's a lot to take in. Need some time to wrap my head around it all.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Varka. You stood with us against the Wild Hunt, and did everything you could to stop it from escalating into a full-blown catastrophe. And then, the one time you're away, it all comes to a head and all your hard work gets undone.
You've got nothing to apologize for, Miss Moonchanter. You can plan 100 steps ahead and still slip up. That's just life. No one knows what tomorrow holds. You can't predict which way the wind will blow next. And, to be perfectly honest, I can't say I'm surprised. For all the times we've defeated the Wild Hunt in the past, we've never been able to completely wipe it out. Turns out, we were just delaying the inevitable. But now that a new variable has come into play, fate may well take a different course.
A new variable? You mean us?
Who else? And in a strange way, I think his resurgence might not be an entirely bad thing. The Wild Hunt is like an unrelenting force of nature, but Rerir is an individual with an agenda. He's gotta have a weak spot somewhere. That said, while I was explaining everything just now, some of the points that Mr. Flint's added caught my attention.
You mean about our mystery ally?
That's right. From what you've said, not only did they lead you straight to some key files, they also shielded Hisi Island from a lethal Kuvaki blast. I don't know who or what could pull something like that off. Heck, even Miss Columbina doesn't have a clue.
I hadn't heard the story about those files. Would you mind repeating their titles for me?
Wild Hunt Phenomena Log, a nod-crai and Ratnik's Field Journal, and Kuvaki Survey Log.
Oh. No. Still doesn't ring a bell.
Another dead end. Guess all we can do now is hope that our mystery ally keeps showing up when we most need them. Still, it's safest to assume they won't be intervening again. From here on out, we'll have to resolve this crisis by ourselves. Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. The reason I led my team to Amsfarnir was because we'd had reports about a possible source of the Wild Hunt showing up there. But once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know who was behind it, but clearly, it served its purpose. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, it sounds like his scheming began well before his return. So maybe luring me away was all a part of his plan. But is it even possible that he orchestrated all of this by himself? The Moon Maiden and the Raker of Solnari, nod-crai of all places. The way everything is unfolding, it can't be a coincidence.
So, what do we do now? Got any ideas?
Right now, we've got at least 3 things to consider. Let's go through them one by one. First, we need to figure out how to take down Rerir. If we can't beat him in a straight-up to my knowledge, the bulk of nod-crai's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still growing.
What if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
Have you thought of something, Columbina?
3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest. The Frost Moon was the brightest. And the Iridescent Moon was the most mysterious. They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's marrow resides within the Traveler.
Hold on. Are you suggesting?
The iridescent moon, the last piece in the puzzle.
That's right. If we can find the Iridescent Moon's marrow, I will be able to regain my strength much more quickly.
The 3 moons are said to stir the tides and illuminate all things.
According to my analysis, the solution is feasible. However,
I know a way, but we will need to
The Experimental Design Bureau?
Yes.
It's a long way from here to the Experimental Design Bureau. There's a high chance you'll be spotted.
Then that's settled. Next up, as you saw for yourselves, when he was still in his wild hunt form, everything he did was people's obsessions often reveal their greatest vulnerabilities. There must be a reason why he despises the moon so deeply. Perhaps the wild hunt has plagued nod-crai for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good, we have to get to the root cause.
It's true. We still know very... If Kutar hadn't given us that lead, we wouldn't even...
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of nod-crai has a clue, and she has info coming out of her ears.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly
She heard me.
Boss! What are you doing here?
I'm now asking myself the same question. I received a letter from a humble knight of Favonius, requesting a meeting to discuss a major business deal.
Details, details. Miss Neffer, the important thing is that you've arrived at the perfect time. Since his failed ambush, I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a plan to fight Rerir. Given the severity of the situation, I think it's fair to say that our only chance lies in uniting. We can't do this without the Curatorium. But I knew it'd be a tough job to win you over. So, I took the liberty of reaching out for a little chat.
Wait a sec. How did you even... Didn't you say this is meant to be the Knights of Favonius' meeting spot?
You really think he could have gotten settled in nod-crai without my help? Besides, I'm the one running.
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's in...
Please spare me the flattery. Let's cut to the... Well, this certainly qualifies as an unforeseen crisis.
So you're just going to sit this one...
Why should I get involved? What could
What if we told you?
Oh? Then I'd say, you'd better...
I can't put a price on something like this. It's just not in my nature. If you insist on compensation...
You just don't give up, do you? Too bad. I know you well enough to know you can't afford my prices. The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a moon chanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning...
Boss, just a thought. If things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir, if this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be late. If there's any way we can...
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well. Yehoda, I will help. Flins. That fragment that
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to fall.
Wait, you have...
Shh. This is...
I get it. We all have things we'd rather keep to ourselves. Plus, I know we can count on you. And that brings me to the third and final item. I'm in for this part.
No, count me.
Come off it, you two. I'm way ahead of you here. Nefa did a scan of the moon goddesses' Kuvakisik once they're ready. We'll deploy the decoys across nod-crai. So as long as the rest of you keep moving...
I like it.
No biggie.
All right, then. We'll split into 3. Once your team has finished their mission, return here and wait for the others.
Lady Damselette. Wait. And you two? What are you... We've been doing our best to mind our own business lately. But if you're just...
You really...
We're not looking for any trouble.
Do I need to remind you that you're still a wanted few out of consideration for our former ties and the crisis we're all up?
Let them
But...
in. Are you going to make me
No.
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood.
So tell me, to what do I owe the honor this, actually, before you answer that? Just so we're clear.
I promise it's nothing big.
It seems like you've gotten the wrong idea here. The only reason I let you in was because I was bored. It seemed like a way to kill some time. Whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past, I haven't lost the plot enough to even
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What? Huh? You mean the knave?
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino. Is she a not?
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the rooster and Regrator.
The Rerir is hunting me. If I'm going to face him. Is that a no, then?
As if I need reminding. I was this close to settling things with him before someone decided to whisk me away to their weird little garden.
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent and sensitive guests who won't stop asking where you've gone. Oh, they've been a real joy.
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to...
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around? First Rosaline, now you? I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than a multi-centenarian goddess who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time. Was it really just...
Well, duh. Why else? Watching you squirm was practically my only form of entertainment. Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around, too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Polonia! Have Febronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea. Will suffice.
Pass along a message for me, too, if you would. My body cannot contain the marrow of 2 moons, so I'll be leaving one of them in her care.
Excuse me? Who said you were on the guest list? If my tea meant that much to you, maybe quitting the Fatui wasn't your brightest move. Back when you were under the Tsaritsa's protection, no one would have dared come at you so openly.
But that protection didn't come for free. In fact, I paid dearly for it. At the end of the day, it was just another transaction. I just got tired, that's all. I never wanted any part in their grand ambitions, and I've had enough of it. Brings back memories from the old days, when I was still worshipped as the moon goddess. Centuries on, it may be a different group of
I figured you'd leave eventually. You didn't have as much of a reason to stay as I do. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back just because the higher-ups told me to. But if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies for real. at... that might be your plan. But it sounds like someone... Huh? What? Listen.
My lady, it's the Wild Hunt. Oh.
Another uninvited guest trying to crash my tea party. Clear the area. I'll handle this. Wait, what? You want us to leave you here by yourself? You'll be lucky to make it out of this alive. You really think you can afford to worry about me? Go on, get out of here. You may have stopped Polonia from crushing him last time, but I've made sure that won't happen again. The entire Experimental Design Bureau is rigged for war. Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in a weapons system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, make it quick. Or you'll just get in my way. Stare all you want, Columbina. You're not getting...
I know.
But this is exactly why you shouldn't hang around with those people. All their melodrama and sentimental... Come on then, Mr. Ray here. It's your Wild Hunt monstrosities versus my beauty... Polonia, get in!
I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for...
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey, over here, you big...
Curse it. Moon. Go. Keep searching. She cannot...
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past. It almost looks like some kind of ceremony.
Good deduction. But it's quite a...
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was... Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where...
I'm not sure exactly planned, but it looks like you're all...
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this end well. I've never faced... I, on the other hand, am just... make an enemy of him.
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary as it gets. So what are you saying?
Once I take a job, there's no backing out. Still, I have to ask myself if the power I'm relying on will even work on an opponent of this caliber. And also how to make sure I come out of this alive if things spiral out of control. Death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equalizer, however fortunate or unfortunate we may otherwise be. So it's important to consider how to spend what lifespan we have left.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, there's no such thing as being too prepared. Is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day. Yehoda, I need you to find someone for me. The sooner the better.
Find who?
That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. You're pulling my leg again. In what way is she shady? She showed up when I was completely lost and sold me a neat little gadget that was exactly what I needed. Trust me, she's a good person. Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Quit grabbing me. I genuinely can't run any further.
Hey, aren't you...
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easygoing she is. After that rude awakening, she could have completely...
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two to...
If you want to make it big in nod-crai, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of intel that interests me. And she also did me a big favor. It was back when I first arrived in nod-crai. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp, had an adverse reaction to the Kuvaki and fainted. And wouldn't you know it,
That's when I suddenly find myself in a life or death. I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, plus any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangamabe is nothing if not generous. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble? I've got everything you could possibly need. And the more you buy, the more you'll save.
You guessed correctly. What have you got in the way of survival gear?
The one type of gear I've never been short on. What are you looking for? A jetpack fresh from the Academia's labs? An ancient suit of armor dredged up from the bottom of the sea? At the very least, I need to know what kind of opponent you're dealing with here. If even you're worried about staying alive, it must be...
What if I told you it's someone with the power?
Is that so? Then we really are talking top-shelf treasure.
You're...
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily, Frank, if you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. Can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that? Roll over and serve yourself up on a silver platter?
Of course not. I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, no! This is for my personal use only!
Let's just say I'm borrowing it. Oh, favors are the worst kind of debt to owe, and now you've got a chance to
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 mora. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all.
See you later! You're...
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now begin. After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. You will, so remember. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past. I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Simple furnishings, table and chair. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble beginnings. Unless this passed for luxury in Conria. It was said to be a very prosperous nation in its heyday. Anyway, I'll...
Hi, River. Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep my... I'll test it out, and if it's as good as... P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin rack. Hope you like them.
They didn't sign their name. But they must have been close. Sounds like they were living together.
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. They have a fine collection, but I went alone. If Felindus was... Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really have an answer. He then went on to ask about other but if he invites me again, chances are I'd still go.
Felindus. That's the same name Rerir mentioned.
Crane imports keep falling. If things don't pick up, we'll soon be back to meat and mushrooms only. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that new type of mushroom everyone's been into lately. Didn't it start out as a lab-grown variety? I heard it's even mildly corrosive. Seriously, I don't care if it's an impressive feat of alchemy. That just isn't the kind of thing I like to eat.
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. That would explain why they use so much stone in their building. They even use alchemically modified strains for food. Seems like the people of Conria don't have many...
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it and keep it somewhere safe.
Making a big purchase. I wonder what it is. He really is a professional. Despite what he's become, it seems like he's retained... Did Rary rip it?
Before I met you, I was the burial place of a fallen moon. A withered, windless grove where the waters rested forever unrippled. It was you who helped me see that my heart hadn't entirely withered away.
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of hiding that? The burial place of a fallen moon.
Reverie, over here.
Dane! Oh, and, Vedafin here? What a surprise to see you here, sir.
Hello there, Rerir. You need not address me so formally outside of court.
He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then, right?
Well, I'm flattered.
So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it...
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop the big question? How's that coming along?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight...
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed you either.
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still haven't told her.
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest, I have no idea how she'll take it.
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be much more impressed by your actual job, a member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story. Does the king himself even know?
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me. How have you been?
Me? Same old, nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Ved?
It's not...
Vadafilnir, Dainslift's elder brother. And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about me. Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his brother, or just another of the... Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were talking about?
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. So this is perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more unsettling about seeing the human he used to be.
Felindis?
you're back early.
Our equipment's being serviced today, so I got off earlier than usual. How's your day been? Aw, why the long face? Is something the matter?
Went for a drink with Dane.
Isn't that a good...
Vetter showed up today, too. You know, Dainsleif's older brother.
Ah, Mr. Vettifulnir. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends...
He overheard Dainsleif mention that I'd recently proposed, and seemed to have an issue with it. But when I asked what it was, he kept it to himself.
So, you're worried? You could be such a child sometimes, Revier. We're nobodies. Why would the Visionary be concerned about us? I'm sure someone in his position... You worry too much, Revier. We've been together...
So, you do...
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things like this.
All right. Take your time. Nobodies. Sounds about right. In the eyes of people like Vettelflnir, can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Besides, the dynasty's fate rests with the king and his inner circle. Whatever I do, it won't make much difference. Meanwhile, every idea they come up with and every decision they make, it affects everything. These days, the king is lost in his research, and the purge of the Crimson Moon bloodline grows ever more into... The opposition tried to speak out, but nothing came of it. I'm under no illusions as to why. Because we eliminated them. A man can have 1,000 reasons to carry a sword, but there are few good excuses to use it. Yet the king has never... What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Can he ever find Thelindis? It's nothing. You were right. Fate has never smiled. There's no reason we can't keep living happily together, cherishing the simple joys.
See? You just need to stay positive, Revier. I can feel your warmth, your breath. You're right there, right by my side. Just seeing you makes me happy in a way I can't explain. That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin our evening. Speaking of which, all set for the ball tonight? I need to go get ready.
You go ahead. I just have a few things.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started. But don't be late. If you...
Seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really gonna leave my proposal hanging and still expect me to
Well, that goes without saying. Besides, they're two completely different things.
All right. White out.
It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence. He clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancée to know about his other life. Who'd have thought we were in... Let's dig a little deeper.
Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Ray here of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 67 accomplices.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them still linger on.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse, and that His Majesty, the all-seeing Vince Conria, has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be...
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens, that's precisely the field of...
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I...
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years, and for that very reason. These are no helpless lambs we're leading to the slaughter. Take care, Ray here of Solnari. I look forward to toasting you at your wedding.
Thanks, Thorkel. You look after yourself, too. Felindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you shouldn't know. The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because I have to get a clear answer from him? No matter what happens.
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir and Dainsleif. I've investigated this whole... Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What's this black smoke?
So, he's late after all. Just you wait.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of...
For someone so young...
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying.
You're...
May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what...
It doesn't matter who I am. Not long ago, the Ray here of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered...
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this.
Wait.
Hear me out. This time, his name is Rarier. And he...
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a...
Why are you...
Simple.
How strange. Rarier was nowhere to be seen in that Rarier couldn't Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull?
Any more questions, and I'll have to start
I had no idea I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what...
I'm just as curious as you are. But the Luckily, we managed to...
So far, so good. Especially the group with the Traveler.
If you're worried about them, go...
If I know Boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all the details and make sure it's...
Oh, they've been prowling around for nearly... Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but them constantly sweeping... Oh, that's never gonna... If they spot us, they'll run straight back to Rarier. And once he knows we're here... Oh... Oh, they've been... Oh, they might not have seen us